Okay, now it's recording. You can start.
Thank you, teacher. All right, let's talk about something that is a little trippy, literally. Ever heard of psilocybin mushrooms? Yeah, those magical ones, but before you roll your eyes of Ortino Woodstock. Hold on. This isn't about hippies running wild. This is about science, history, and maybe even the future of mental health. Um, so here is the thing: psilocybin mushroom have been around forever. We are talking thousands of year cultures in Mexico. For example, using them ceremonially, calling them the fresh of the gods, and then poof, they disappear from a mainstream culture for a long time, mostly thanks to stigma and let's face it, politics. But now they are making a comeback, big time, not just in ceremonies or festival, but in labs and therapy rooms. Okay, let's narrow out for a sec. Psilocybin is the active compound in these mushrooms. One, it is in your body. Your liver converts it into psilocybin, which what actually does the magic. And by magic, I mean it connects with a serotonin receptors in your brain, which is what actually does the magic. Especially the 5-HT2A receptors. You know, serotonin. When you feel good, right? Chemical and all these things. Well, psilocybin hijacks those parts away in a way that leads to crazy things like improved neuroplasticity, which is use a fancy term of your brain being more flexible and open to the new connections in your brain. All right, so here's the will part. Research is showing that psilocybin isn't a just psychedelic trip; is a potential game changer for mental health, depression, PTSD, anxiety. Psilocybin have shown an insane promise on treating of these mental problems. Um, there's his study from Johns Hopkins, super famous, where people with treatment resistance, depression, had a single psilocybin sessions. Weeks later, many of them were still feeling better. This session is like therapy on steroids. Well, not steroids, but work it. Cultural connect. So now let's zoom out for a sec. Indigenous, sorry, indigenous cultures used psilocybin mushroom spiritually, with something about getting high. Wasn't something getting high is what about connecting with something more. Begin echo in these mushrooms using for therapeutically. People describe psilocybin experience as resetting their brains or going in a new perspective of life. Technology and innovation. Let's talk about where is science meets tech, right? How research are using advanced computer models to simulate how psilocybin interact with the brain. Afraid then there's microdosing, taking tiny amounts of psilocybin regularly to boost creativity, focus, or even mood. It's like coffee for you without the filters. Here's the kicker. If you were going to dive into this world psilocybin, think education is the key. People need to understand the science of the risks, the story, everything. And yeah, there is still the whole ethic debate. So we really begin psychedelic for transmitting health. We are opening a Pandora box, for example. Mm, In education and ethics, first, it's very important to understand risks and benefits. Ethics, how should psilocybin be regular, and education is the key to overcoming a stigma. And also, and um, honestly, isn't that what science is all about? You know, when we are told about psilocybin, it feels like we are stepping into some sort of forbidden zone, right? It's been this taboo topic for decades, but let's just put things into perspective for a second. Psilocybin use when used responsibility, keyword responsibility, understand professional supervision can actually be life changing for so many people. It's mean think about we're dealing with mental health crises everywhere, depression, PTSD, anxiety, you name it. And while conventional medications like antidepressants can help, let's be honest, they are not perfect. They take weeks to kick in, often come on with a long list of side effects, and some people there just don't work all. Meanwhile, studies of psilocybin are showing that use one for a session can lead benefits. It's almost mind blowing when you're talking about it. This natural compound derived from a mushroom might be more effective than drugs created in $1 billion labs. Thanks for listening to me. Mm.
Okay, thank you so much for your presentation on this interesting topic, Gustavo. So here we're gonna start with the question and answer part. You already in the 8 minutes, so let's start it here with a partner. Maybe anyone has a question here in this topic. Okay, I see that Omar. So let's start it with Omar.
Okay, teacher and classmate Gustavo. According to this presentation, I would like, how do you see the future of psilocybin in medicine and society in general?
That's interesting question. The government and many laboratories and investigations need to be more studies about the theme, but it's very, very potential uh, to change the mental health in the future. Imagine you are facing for depression, you are a boy are whole of addictions, You need to be a help if you can control all these emotion and actions and specific habits. And if you are going therapy, if you don't like the methodology of the psychology, you can prove this treatment is very interesting in for our souls and I think the psilocybin revolutionates mental health in the future and giving step by step. For example, in Canada and others countries, the first world.
Okay, thank you so much for that answer. So let's continue here with Evie.
Um, Talking about microdoses, you were talking about, I would like to know how many doses people can start using in order to dealing with depression or mental health issues. And this is accessible in like drugstores, or it has to be um, like prescribed for any hospital or doctor.
Actually, in Colombia, it's illegal. But many people get these mushrooms uh, for a farm of them, and the dangerous part is o sea, many people eat macrodoses. Macrodoses can alter your reality and have psychedelic effects. Microdoses, for example, 1 gram, and microdoses is 100 milligrams. These microdoses using, for example, Monday, you rest the next 2 days, and the fourth day you can eat a microdoses. These microdoses don't feel any psychedelic and notable alter of perception, but in your emotions and your mind you have more clarity, creativity, and focus in your tasks. For example, in your projects, you can have a more perspective of them because your brain are making connections, and we need to provide microdosings like 100 micrograms, and don't pace the grams, and always we need to be go step by step with a professional of mental health. In Colombia, I listen many doctors um, do these therapies, and it's more underground, but it's very efficient to the mental health.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that answer. Now, let's continue here. I see that someone else wants to make a question, or just that's it.
Me, teacher. I
Okay, okay, Austin, let's
uh,
do it.
okay, classmate. The topic about the psilocybin is very interesting. My question is, what effect does psilocybin have on the brain and nervous system?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Uh, What effect does psilocybin have on the brain and nervous system?
Nervous system.
Uh,
Mm, it's an interesting question because the nervous system affect with the brain, making actions can affect them. For example, bad habits, but psilocybin can change these mental, can these thinkings in pro of you grow up. So can affect negative if you prove this psilocybin without doctor, without a professional, uh, depending your emotion. But this is a process. You can start with tiny micro doses and propose what is your goals, and you can still grow up, but it's not for all people. If you have a serious mental problem like schizophrenia, you can do these treatments because it's very unstable and can affect the brain and nerviotic system.
Okay, Climax. Thank you.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for this participation in this section. So in this moment, we are going to stop the recording because we already end the presentation of the partner. So let me just stop it.